Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM20 story from Dorking Wanderers with me, Daniel. It's season 14, episode 3, and today all of our focus is on the pitch. We've got a big double header against Leicester and high-flying Arsenal, and this is going to be difficult for us. Will we get dragged into a relegation battle, or will we fight for the top half like we did last season? We're going to find out today, and it's probably going to be a difficult one for us, because we haven't had that momentum we expected. We spent a lot of money in the summer and thought we might be able to challenge for Europe, and to be fair, we're only 4 points off that. But of course, with a lot of new players, comes difficulty in cohesion, difficulty in getting the team to gel. Added to that, we've had lots of little knocks and 1 or 2 week injuries, and it just all hasn't settled down, and as a result, we've been inconsistent. But obviously, since the end of the last episode, things have improved. We haven't had any more ridiculous defeats like the one we did last time. And there have been some promising performances as well, particularly at home. We've also loaned out a few players to our feeder club Staines, who are flying in the National League South. So there are some good signs as well. And I wanted to address a little issue about the training facilities, which you talked about in the comments, quite a few of you. So thank you for your feedback. And I'm going to ask a question today. But very quickly, before we do all of that, a massive thank you to everyone who continues to support the series and the channel in general. I mean, the head coach, the move abroad has gone really well. The live stream series has started better than I could have expected. The stadium review series has picked up in recent weeks. And the podcast channel's gone absolutely nuts. The Cricket 19 career's going well. I mean, everything's great. So thank you so much. If you are looking forward to this one, please do put a thumbs up on the video and subscribe down below for daily FM20 content and much, much more as we've just discussed. But I feel first, before we go and look at anything, I need to address your question. And that one was whether we should use the editor to upgrade the training facilities. Now, it's not something I've ever done before, and I want one answer really before I do that. Are we completely certain that this is a glitch? Because the only thing I'm worried about is this consortium takeover. I know it hasn't affected anything else being improved at all, but my question is, do we have to wait for this board takeover to see if it then becomes available, or if we can ask for it with a new contract before we decide that it's definitely a glitch and we do it? I've no problem doing it if it's an unrealistic glitch, but if it's something that's deliberately held back within the game for whatever reason, however stupid it may be, I don't want to cheat. So that's the important thing for me. So let me know what you think about that down in the comments, and we'll come to a decision probably after the board takeover. Shouldn't be long now anyway. It's been talked about really heavily in the media. But I just want to make sure there's no risk that this is being held back for something. It might be that the board don't want to do it if they're moving out. They don't want to do it if they own the land, whatever it is. Something really intrinsic behind the scene. But if we're all agreed that it's definitely a glitch, then perhaps we do have to look at it for the first time probably ever for me in FM. So we'll leave that one for a couple of episodes. Get your thoughts down in the comments and we'll start to prepare for that, as we've got a takeover looming as well. Let's go to the schedule while we do that and look at our recent results. So the good news, we're still in the Carabao Cup, and we've also had a little bit of form in the Premier League, which has just lifted us away from that relegation trouble. We have had some tricky games already, but of course we've got a tough spell now with these two today. And we've got Liverpool coming up, United in a double header over Christmas. I mean, it doesn't get much easier. That's the thing really, we haven't had a spell of hard games and easy games. They've all sort of been mixed in, and that's made it really difficult to find form. So after that disappointing Southampton defeat at the end of the last episode, we then played Tottenham at home. It was a solid performance and we lost it in the 90th minute. It was so frustrating. But we did bounce back, a 1-0 win at Hull. Augustin Ladoury with his first goal for the club. He's now worked his way into the lineup. A 4-1 win away at Brighton. This was the other end of the scale. We were exceptional. At half-time we were 4 up. Yonton, Boyce, Mertens and Lima with the goals. He missed a penalty as well, Lima, by the way. And then in the second half, Harvey Elliott got one back. Obviously at Liverpool in real life, the youngster. But it was nowhere near a contest. It was a fantastic result. Complete dominance. And we deserved to win it very comfortably. Then a 1-0 win followed at home to Wolves, that one after the international break. Ilya Balic with an early strike. He's out injured today, I'm afraid, but he put in a good performance there. And in a 2-1 defeat away at Chelsea, again Balic giving us the lead early in the second half this time, but João Felix and Emmanuel Fabro getting the home side the victory in the end. A penalties win followed against Norwich, this one in the Carabao Cup. Ryan Lima off the bench saved the day in the penultimate minute and then scored a penalty on our way to victory too. Ben Barrett in goal having a good day, and it was comfortable. In a penalty shootout, I've never been more relaxed in one, to be brutally honest. A 2-1 win at home to Everton, Jonton and Balic giving us a first half 2-0 lead, and then a late one just caused a nervy finish, but we were okay. Kieran Pollock at right back having a good game, and the defence just starting to settle, or so I thought. Then we went away to Bournemouth. Balic's goal run ended with an awful game. He then picked up a knock in the international break. He's now going to miss today's game. But Jeff Coppens ended a goal drought, so that was a good sign for us. Again, got one back after a poor first half, but it wasn't enough in the end. So unfortunately, we weren't able to get a point out of it, and it took us into the international break in poor form with worse morale. But we're still doing all right. We're in mid-table. We've won our last 2 home games going into this Leicester one. But of course, Leicester are a very good side. They are in Europe, the Europa League 2, following their FA Cup run last year and finishing 7th in the Premier League. So we've got a lot of things to look at on that front. It's of course going to be a tough competition. They've got Allegri in goal. They've got a brilliant left wing back who's their star player on 155 grand a week. And it just dwarfs what we're able to do. The dynamics are okay, but they did suffer against Bournemouth, and that team cohesion still hasn't crept up yet. Some of the top influencers aren't in the team because the ones who have been here longest are gradually being phased out now. So there's a lot of areas where we're in transition, and those things will probably take a while. So as a result of that, Leicester in strong form and slight favourites today, but we've got almost our first 11 available. So it's Gabriel Afonso in goal, it's Pollock and Mazzinho the fullbacks with Mertens and Baker at centre-half, Jonton and Boyce in the middle, Lima, Ladowry and White the attacking 3 today, he's in for the injured Balic, and Jeff Coppens after his first goal of the season up front. The Wonder Kid had a really disappointing spell. We need him to find form. We gambled on him, we spent big money. He's supposed to be one of the stars here. He's not got his consistency problem anymore, but he's not producing the goods. So we're going to hope they do today, but let's get into the first game against Leicester. All the focus from this point on the pitch. Here we go then. 4-2-3-1 for Leicester. Mason Greenwood up front. They've got Cleverley and Kassem on the wings. Both of them we know are very good players. They're a good side. They've got a lot of youth. They've got a lot of quality. And we can see why they're in Europe. So we're going to have to be careful. There's no European hangover, of course, because it's been the international break. So probably one of the worst times to play them. We're just going to go through all the usual options in the tunnel interview. Let's get into the first half and see if we can get on the front foot. It's Mazzinho with a throw at left back. Into Aaron White, a new partner on the left wing for him today. Into Mertens as centre half as we look good going forward early on here. Can we turn it into a good goal scoring opportunity though? Here's Boyce surging forward. Blocked by Cleverley and now the counter's on and we've got numbers committed forward. And I don't know what the centre half Mertens was doing there. Cleverley goes in. Afonso makes the save. But Mertens almost ran away from him. Just made a beeline so he could go straight through. 6 minutes gone, it's 0-0, but that is a worrying start to the match for Dorking. And Leicester are on the front foot again. Craven Cottage looking nearly empty there. I know we're playing away from home as such. We're not playing at our usual home ground. But why on earth's the ground so empty? Though hang on a minute, we'll focus on that later. Lima's nicked it. Good link up from Coppens. White skins too. He's into the box. Goes alone. It's a great save. And Lima can't get there on the rebound. It's cleared by Leicester. But that was a brilliant effort. And we're back pretty quickly for a throw into Mazzinho on the left-hand side, who finds Sanchez Ladowry. The number 10's done well since he's come in. Finds Boyce. Beats 2 and scores. That's his brilliant play from Carl Boyce. The international is a brilliant player. Under 21s for England. He's knocking on the door of the first team now. And he is becoming a superstar in our midfield. Carl Boyce gives us the lead. And it's that man, the number 10. We bring them in to create goals, create chances. And Sanchez Ladowry gets his assist. Half an hour gone. Aaron White with a free kick into the box. And now the counter's on. Greenwood again beats the centre half. Oh, they've parted like the Red Sea again. Mazzinho's out the way. Greenwood shoots and Afonso makes a good save. But I'm so worried about the way our defence play one-on-one. Here's Baker at centre half. We're back for another highlight as we go all the way back to the keeper Afonso. He's out to Mertens, he's misplaced it. Cleverley's got a chance to go in. Holds it up for Greenwood and Baker makes a great tackle. That's why we were so desperate to keep him. And Boyce puts Coppens in at the other end. We know he scored his goal, he's ended that drought, but that one, not the confident finish, straight at the keeper, and he gets it behind for a corner kick. Sanchez Ladowry will take that. It's headed away by Norley as far as Baker. Sanchez Ladowry again, chance to cut it in, and he's out for another corner. The pressure's on for Dorking. We are starting to attack. Leicester looking a bit threatening on the break, but generally, we have been the dominant force here. The header away finds Baker again. Ladowry's up with him, so he's got a chance to cross it on his right. Into Aaron White. Out to Lima at the back post. and his header straight into the arms of Farrell. He really should have done better. Dorking Wanderers completely on the front foot, and we lead 1-0 as we go into half-time. It's Carl Boyce's goal that separate the two teams. We have got that little worry on the counter-attack though, so we might have to drop the fullbacks as the match goes on, but I'd much rather us just double our lead and end the worry. There's a throw on the left which Mertens goes back to Afonso, the keeper. We've got to find the right ball out here. Goes long over the top, headed back to the keeper, and that was a bit of a bizarre bit to see. So long ball forward, Kasem's on it. Did brilliantly against us last year, and we will have to watch out for him. Ibarra to Medjbury, the number 10, out to Norley on the right-hand side. The overlapping fullback crosses to Greenwood, and it's deflected behind by Mertens. It is brilliant defending, we've got to be honest. Mazzinho's going to man-mark cleverly, as he's absolutely skinning him so far. And Baker heads away from Kasem, but it falls for the number 10 again. Chance to go to the left. Zagadou picks it up, but the highlight peters out as we keep the pressure on well. Goal kick for Farrell. We've almost reached the hour mark now, and he's gone to Cleverly on the left. Good switch of play to Cusqueta. Chance to shoot, and Afonso saves again. He's made a couple of good ones in this match, and more importantly, he's held them all. No spillages, no rebounds. Afonso is keeping us in the good books today. Jake Cleverly is off, and Leicester on the front foot again. We might have to think about subs in a minute, because on that side in particular we're getting done. Cusqueta into the box. Oh no. I said Afonso's had a good game, and then he lets one in at his near post. I mean, it's a good strike. It was right in the corner. But he got a hand to it, and at that point you have to keep it out. 20 minutes left, 1-1, and Leicester have dominated the second half. They've come out a different team. We're going to bring Nunes on for the booked Jonton, who's also been poor. Aaron White's going to be replaced by Davila. He will become an inside forward on support. I think that's his preferred role. And then up front, Jeff Coppens again hasn't performed. So Martin Prescott on. And we've got some real worries there. And we've now got a highlight as well. I can almost tell you this will end in a goal. The superstition's real. And this is going to prove it. It's headed away. Ladauri gets it. Can it be our goal though? Jonton on the break. We might cancel the sub if he scores. Jonton all the way. He's got no one in support. Eventually goes back to Pollock. Now Sanchez Ladauri. White to Coppens. Just wide of the post. And that's going to be his final action of the game. We're going to demand more because we've been really poor in this second half. Leicester have dominated. We just cannot get on that front foot. 10 minutes left. Ladauri looking pressured and there's nothing really occurring. So it looks like it is going to fizzle out into a draw. There's only 3 minutes of stoppage time. And yes, it keeps an unbeaten run. We've only lost 1 in 4 then. We keep the unbeaten run at home going. But it isn't the greatest result. A 1-1 draw. And we're struggling being at Craven Cottage now. There were some positives. We'll keep the morale up. And we'll be back in a week to face Arsenal, which will be a much sterner test. And we're going to have to play a lot better than that second half. 8 days later, we're back to face Arsenal. A couple of the older players coming back to fitness who have been out for a few weeks. Arsenal heavy favourites as you'd expect. They're up there in the top 4 chasing. And this is going to be a really difficult test for us. We have got Balic back fit, but not completely. So he'll start on the bench today, I think. Santos, the same applies, but he probably wouldn't get on the bench anyway, to be honest. And Gleedle's not match fit at all. Don't forget, in 3 days, we have got a cup tie, but it's a home to League One opposition in Sunderland. So I'm thinking we shouldn't need to rest people for this one. So we're going to stick with exactly the same 11, and in just the one change on the bench, Balic in for Davila. And let's see if the lads can put in a better display than they did in the second half. If they play like they did the first half, for both halves of this game, we'll be alright. 4-3-3 for Arsenal. Saliba's still there at centre-half. Mason Mount in the middle has been at Arsenal for years in this save. Lautaro Martinez on the right. Gomez in midfield. And a lot of regens around it as well, as you'd expect 14 years in. Fernandes up front is a cracking player. He's done well this season. 1 goal in 5 starts, but a couple of assists. One of those sort of hold-up men who just sort of plays around and soots up teammates as well. So you can see Martinez, he has got 4 goals and Lucic 2 off the wing. I'm sure the midfielders, Gomez has got 2 and Mount's got 2 as well. So goals coming from everywhere in this Arsenal side. And that means not one person can afford to switch off. We'll tell the lads there's no pressure. We agree with Nick Haycock. We'll get through the tunnel interview with our normal standards. And let's see if we can put in a decent display and keep things respectable. Something we haven't always done on the road in this series. Well, one early start for Arsenal. Lautaro Martinez has come off injured, but it hasn't made a difference to the pattern as they're coming forward on the right-hand side with Leak. Finds Otero. Overlapping from fullback. Beats White, the skipper. Into the box. Beats another. Back to Fernandes, who scores. And the defence is so fragile. I mean, the tackling stats across them are brilliant. 16 for Mazzino, 15 for Mertens. Baker's is high as well, 13. And then Pollock's, 14, 15? 15. And they just can't win a tackle to save their lives. It's embarrassing. Here's Fernandez on the left again. We mentioned him being a good striker, and he's proven it there. Poacher in the box, and he probably hasn't had many easier chances this season. It's Saliba at centre-half. Arsenal on the front foot is complete domination. And if we lost 4 to Southampton, what are we going to lose to these? Pollock's getting beaten by Lucic. Slides in, that's a good tackle. It still falls for Lucic though. Back to Augusto. Now Gomez. Into the box unopposed. It's the same again. He beats 2. Fernandez scores. Where are the fullbacks? What's going on here? I mean, they're there. It's not like them being on attacking duties is harming them. They're there. They're ready to make the challenge. And they just don't commit. It's a really bizarre circumstance. And we're already 2-0 down. Half an hour gone. There's not been that many chances. You can see 5 shots and 5 on target. But the ones they're able to create are so clear-cut because we're just not defending at all. Let me know in the comments if there's anything you can suggest. Maybe dropping the midfielders back, but that takes away the attacking threat. And the last 2 seasons, we didn't have this problem. Is it just because the lads haven't gelled? They're not used to playing together yet. It is just their 10th or 11th game as a back 4 together. But even so, that's individual one-on-one play, which is miles off. As the keeper gives it to Mason Mount this time, it's all going wrong. Baker clears, Coppens brings it down. Lima at the other end against his former club. Finds Ladowri, that's better! Ryan Lima with the assist. Ladowri's shot probably shouldn't have beat the keeper from there. But it's a brilliant effort, it's in the back of the net. And we've got a lifeline on a stroke of half time. And we've now got a corner. If we can make it 2-2 before the break, that would be something. Jonton in, Saliba heads away. Ladowri down for White, recycles it. Finds Jonton again. Oh, just wide of the far post. Worth a go indeed. And just past the far post of the Arsenal keeper. And in the 3rd minute of stoppage time, we've got possession again. Pollock and Baker at the back. Long ball forward, Coppens up. Loses out to Mason Mount. And here we go on the back foot again. Out to Otero. Will the fullbacks put in a tackle? That's the question. Otero back to Merrival, to Gomez, to Leak. Mazzino beaten easy again. He's such a good tackler, he's good in the marking, and he hasn't done any of it. Lucic wins the header off Pollock at the back post, but thankfully it's over the bar. It is 2-1 at half time, and Arsenal looking so threatening down the flanks. We're going to tell the lads we're pleased, because 2-1 is a good scoreline here, against a side expected to get Champions League football, but we really are frustrated at the way we're conceding chances here. And with 10 minutes gone in the second half, the tactical changes do seem to have worked to an extent, but we have lost a lot of our attacking threat. Fernandez in, Afonso makes a brilliant save. Is into Baker again who heads up, but we still haven't got it clear. It's a 3rd wave of attacks, and Saliba eventually gets possession as it peters out. 25 to go, I went to make changes, but you know my superstition. Fernandez picks it up to Otero. Still coming forward, Arsenal on the right, and it's those flanks where there's so much trouble. Merrival switches it, Lucic there, into the back post, Otero gets it, White's defending, doesn't make anything, Lucic heads against the bar, Pollock was nowhere to be seen. It's so frustrating. 20 minutes left and Arsenal are charging forward now. This is complete domination. Fernandez in the box, to the back post, free header again. Oh, I don't know what to do about it. Someone tell me how to stop the free headers. I mean, Pollock's decent in the air. I know his jumping reach isn't great, but it's not the point he's not winning the headers. He's not marking, he's not challenging for them. And his marking stat's very good. The same applies to Mazzino, who is actually good in the air as well. I'm really frustrated, I don't know what to make of it. Boyce is coming off, Núñez on for him. Aaron White again had a poor game. Balic back to fitness, let's see if he can get a goal. And Coppens again has disappointed. I appreciate he's not had much service today. But that's not the point, he's creating nothing. Prescott on, the former Tottenham player. Let's see if he can get the revenge on Arsenal. We're going to ask the lads to show some passion. And with 15 to go, a few are fired up, but some still looking anxious. This young side really missing leaders at the moment. It's Gomez with the delivery in, to the back post. Oh, it's off the line. Hits the post and Mazzino hacks it clear. And it falls for Fernandez, who can restart possession. 5 minutes remaining. Let's go attacking. Let's push these lads forward, because do you know what? We need to try and get an equaliser here. Who cares if we concede a third? You've got to go for it. We're going to be more expressive. We've got 2 minutes of stoppage time. It's not going to happen. Fernandez needs to be closed down, and we lose 2-1. At least it wasn't embarrassing. But that second half it could have been, let's be honest. I've no idea why the fullbacks marking was so bad. It's not a problem we've really had for most of the 2 years. And the attributes for these new fullbacks are supposed to be a huge upgrade. They're playing in a tactic that suits them and they're not really delivering. I've got to give them leeway while they gel, but there's only so long we can put up with these mistakes. The lads are delighted because they put in a good effort, and hopefully at home to Sunderland we can get form back, but we're still just 4 points above that relegation zone. Brighton and Birmingham have got a game in hand, and that could change things very quickly. So we'll keep an eye on it. We're now drifting away from European places, and it could be another season of mid-table mediocrity. They keep focusing on the fact that we've got a very young side, younger than we've ever had, and that potentially is what's causing the issue. So let me know in the comments what you think of that. We will likely have to address it. Maybe just get one experienced leader in winter. But we have now potentially got 3 more friendly games on paper. At home to Burnley in the league. Obviously a side we've managed in a head coach and that we're currently managing on a live stream series. And in December until United. I know it's a lot of away games, but they're games we should be getting results from. So we'll see how that goes. We will come back around that Christmas period. Probably United away on the 28th. And then maybe we'll come back for the start of the transfer window. Or we'll do the 1st of January and then the 2nd against United. Depends on the FA Cup. We'll wait and see on that front. But one of those United games will be on camera. And we'll have a bit of focus on the January window. So tell me what you think we need to do. Where we need to improve. And how on earth we can sort out this defensive mess at the club. But if you did enjoy this episode and those 2 performances against tough opposition, let's be fair, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know in the comments what you think we can do defensively, where you think we need to improve in January. We have got a little bit of budget remaining. I know we spent a lot, but around 10 million and 40 grand a week. And of course we can sell one if you think there's a weakness as well. There's some backup players that we would look to get rid of, and we'll be able to bring in 1 or 2 after that. As we mentioned earlier, please do give me a feedback on the training facilities discussion as well. I'm really interested to get the general consensus this season, and then we'll look at what we can do next summer then. And if you haven't already, subscribe down below for daily FM20 content. This series continues every other day, so we'll be back to face United in a couple of days' time. And we'll also have the head coach in between now and then. A big one in Germany. We had our first cup final last weekend. We've got European football for the first time this week. There's so much to look forward to. A big transfer special as well. The director of football letting us in for a treat, hopefully. There's also 2 episodes a week from Cricket 19. That one continued earlier today. 1 a week every Sunday from the Stadium Review series. The last one on Sunday was Luton Town. Obviously my second home. I've been there hundreds of times. So if you've ever visited as a home or away fan, I'd love to get your opinion on that. And then finally, my live stream series continues every Tuesday at 10 AM. Thank you to everyone who came along this week. It really is so appreciated. It's one of the favourite things to do, to hang out, have a chat with you guys. I do appreciate it greatly. And also a quick thanks for your support over on the podcast channel. We've been lucky to interview loads of pros and we've had some topical discussions recently and it seems to have taken off. So thank you so much for your support and you can check it out in the eye above if you haven't seen it yet. But a big thanks for watching this one and your continued support with the series and the channel in general. And hopefully I'll see you next time as we cross into 2033 with Manchester United formidable opposition.